Hola, welcome back to a new video. Today's video is going to be about all the jobs that I had here in Australia, from the first one to the current one. If it was hard, if it was easy, if I enjoyed or not, and all the requirements, everything. So if you are planning to come to Australia or you are looking for a job but you're not too sure how to start, this video is for you. My first job was cleaning. I have to say that it was definitely the job that I liked the least, and for obvious reasons, but I'm just going to tell you in general what was the things that I didn't like or the things that I like. So the first job was cleaning. I arrived in Australia in around May 2022, and it was still post-COVID, so it was actually really easy to find jobs in general everywhere, I think. It was quite easy to get in. For the first job, it's usually pretty simple. You just have to get the TFN ready, have your Australian number ready, and just do the application online. Sometimes they might request you to have a cover letter, but you don't really have to have a cover letter if you are just applying for a simple job like cleaning in this case. But if you are planning to get like a higher role, then probably you will need a cover letter. I haven't done any cover letter yet. Anyway, so continuing, I applied to the job online. They get back to me really fast, and I started working in my the third week that I was here in Australia. This first specific job was really easy to get. I would say because I was recommended by someone else, but also I think in that specific moment on time, 2022 was really easy to get a job just because of it was post-COVID. So Australia was just recovering for all the people they lose because of COVID, right? I mean, like the people who come back to their countries, now they didn't have enough people for some jobs. Anyway, I think that how this specific company managed my start time and the way I started, it was not really the best. And I say this because I have the worst experience ever in my first day. You have to, you have rights, and the way they treat you sometimes is not correct, and you have the total right to say, I don't want to do this, or this is not okay. And I think because I was new and it was my first job here, and I was just like, whatever, I was just accepting everything, and now I kind of regret it, but at the same time, it's part of the journey. So they called me to work the same day. I was like, okay, yes, that's fine. I was really dressed up because in that moment, I was already studying. I was in my English class. I was dressed up. I always like to look really presentable, even if I'm just going to class. The point is that I was really well presented, makeup, outfit, hair, everything. For me, working in clinic wasn't really a big deal because I knew that coming here in Australia, it was going to start a new life from the beginning, which means that if you already have studies in your country, they might not be valid when you arrive here, at least at the beginning. Or if your English is not good enough, then you will have to work in anything. I accepted to go the same day just because I thought they are a cleaning company. They're going to give me the proper equipment for me to do the work properly, which they didn't. I arrived there, they didn't give me any kind of uniform or at least a t-shirt. So I have to do the cleaning with my own clothes. They explained to me what I needed to do really fast, which, I mean, I understand maybe they were in a hurry. I don't know, but it was my first day, and that was also one of the things that I didn't really enjoy at all, is that I have to clean the toilets of, I think, the whole building. I had to clean the toilets of the whole building in my first day. They didn't give me a uniform, and I was expecting at least some gloves. That girl, the manager of that building, she only found not a pair, just one single glove. So I have to do the cleaning of the toilets of the whole building. It was like 15 floors with a hand with a glove and the other hand without glove. And I'm like thinking, okay, this is part of the journey. It's not. That's not a proper condition to be cleaning toilets. Especially toilets. You don't know how many people is going there and whatever. Anyway, my first day, I was probably a bit slow and the manager was just rushing me and rushing me and rushing me, which was really annoying and frustrating because I'm doing this job, I'm cleaning these freaking toilets with no proper equipment, with not a uniform, and you're telling me to be faster when this is literally the first time I have to clean. I have cleaned the toilets of my house. I have never cleaned 5 toilets, like, female, male, and then the one that is, it was too many toilets to clean, and I was getting frustrated, sad, and I was thinking, that was the first time, I think, in 3 weeks, what am I doing here? Was this the right decision for me to come to Australia and clean toilets? Because what I did in Colombia before, I started to be a flight attendant, and then I get an internship in the airport working for the airline, not as a flight attendant, but as a customer service agent in the check-in and all of that. And I worked there the whole time for like a year after that, and then I moved to Australia. So I was thinking, my old job was literally just customer service at the airport with an important company in Colombia, and right now I'm just cleaning toilets in Australia. It's like a hit of reality, thinking like, did I make the right decision? Second day of the job, I was thinking, okay, I know what I need to go and do. I understand that they might not give me the proper equipment, so I'm going to arrive ready. I had proper clothes this time for doing my cleaning. I arrived again, and I was trying to think like, I can do this. This is just the start of this journey. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be cleaning toilets my whole life here. Just, trying to be supportive with myself, so I was not too sad for that, which it helped a little bit. The second day, I was a little bit more prepared mentally and like in my uniform and stuff. They give me, I don't really remember if they give me gloves that day. I hope they did. I don't remember. But I remember being a little bit more positive about that, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to clean this shit and then just go home and start again, and then we'll figure it out what to do later. Okay? I stayed there for a week in that building. I didn't clean toilets the whole time. I only did that like 2 days, just because the person who used to clean the toilets in that building, it was not there for some reason. So it was me, the one who had to do it, the new girl. After that, I did clean just like the offices, like the tables and computers and the floor, vacuuming and all of that. And then they changed me to another building with another manager, which that was actually okay. I would say that was, I still didn't like the job just because it was cleaning, but I have to accept that it was really easy to do. It was 4 hours, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The job was really easy, just vacuum the floors, wipe the tables, dusting, and just rubbish. It was really easy, so I have to accept that. I stayed there for 6 months, but I didn't have enough money to survive with only one part-time job. And in that moment, and I'm grateful for that, we were able to work full-time. They did have that because of the COVID, so they were allowing students to work full-time and study as well. So I was really happy to have that opportunity, because a full-time job was not enough for me to pay everything I needed to pay. So I needed to get a second job. And in my English class, there was a lot of Colombian girls, or just Colombian people in general. And I was talking to them, and I was like, oh, I need a job. And they were like, oh, in my hotel they are hiring, is for housekeeping. Here we go again. So housekeeping, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I applied, they accepted me straight away because they were really needing people. I have to say that housekeeping role, everyone was Colombian. Even the manager was Colombian, so it was really easy to speak with them, and that's what I mean when I think that South American people or Colombian people stay in the same role just because they feel comfortable, they don't need to speak Spanish. I started in housekeeping, and I have to say that was the worst job ever. I hated it with all my heart. I still think about it, and I feel like, how the heck did I do that for so long? Housekeeping, as you can assume, is just taking care and cleaning the rooms of the hotel. and making the bed and all of that. It was so hard. Like, no, the cleaning is not hard. The cleaning is alright unless the room is a mess. The problem is that they want you to do the cleaning in like a super speed, which is impossible, because if you want to do it correctly, if you really want to do it in the standard they want, obviously you're not going to be super fast. Maybe when you get more experience, but at the beginning it's really hard. And there's some rooms that are huge, so it takes you even more time. I stayed in those two jobs, the office cleaning and the housekeeping, for around 6 months. And this is where I think it's all part of the journey. I already lived that, I already know how I felt, and I already know how hard it was. That was also my first time like having to pay for everything myself, like completely independent from my parents, and just the time consuming of everything. I didn't have time for myself, and the time that I had for myself, I literally only wanted to be in my bed and stay there the whole time. I didn't want it to move at all, just because I was so tired mentally and physically that I literally didn't want it to move. My routine was study from 8 a.m. to 12:30, I think, and then from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. it was the housekeeping, and then from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. was the office cleaning. And it was like that the whole week. I used to have free Saturday, Sunday, but then just because I needed more money, I started working as well on the weekends on the housekeeping, which was even more depressing for me. So it was just a lot of things happening that it was just so tiring all the time. And this is where my advice is. It doesn't matter if you are South American or if you speak Spanish or you're Colombian, like it doesn't matter. If you have a good English level, you don't need to work in any kind of cleaning job unless you don't find anything else and you want to. But when I just arrived, all these people around me were telling me, because you're Colombian, you have to work in cleaning. You have to start working in cleaning. That's how we started. That's how every Colombian starts. And it's like, I mean, I understand if you have to start like that because your English suck. But if I have already a good English, why I need to do that? And it's something that I didn't really, think at that moment. Everyone told me, you have a great English. My English teachers and like other people around the college, they were like, oh, you have a pretty good English. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was able to communicate properly since the beginning, but I still just listened what all these people was telling me and decided to go cleaning anyway. And then when I finally decided I cannot continue like this, I definitely need to find something else that I can enjoy it a little bit and I still get money from it, is where I decided maybe I should get a job in a restaurant. And it was a really hard decision and something that I think a lot, because I really needed the money, which means that I couldn't just quit and start something else. I needed to quit when I already know that I will have another income. So I started applying for restaurant jobs, hospitality jobs. I got some interviews. I was super nervous because, as everyone tells you, you are Colombian, your job is cleaning, you start thinking that that is correct, that that is real, but it's not. So I was a little bit nervous to go to the interviews and like think like, oh, come on, please. I need to show that I can speak English properly with them, and then hopefully they will hire me. I applied for a job really close from my school. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. That means that I can finish school and go to work straight away without having to take the bus or something. I applied for the job and I got it, which was really a really happy moment for me, because that moment I realized that I was capable of doing way more things than just cleaning. And I don't know, that moment was like it was like a really happy moment. Like, it kind of opened more doors for me and made me feel a little bit more alive in this country, because I have to accept that all these 6 months, the first 6 months in Australia, I was completely depressed. Like I never felt so bad, never. And it was not only for the jobs, but it was also because like you're far from family and like you want to talk with them about what is happening with you, but you don't have the time because of the time difference. It was so many things that I was super depressed, and just getting a new job was the start of something new for me. I couldn't quit straight away my other two jobs because this new job was not giving me enough hours to survive. They were only giving me around 20 hours, which obviously was not enough for me to pay everything I needed. So I had to stay in one of the cleaning jobs, unfortunately the housekeeping, just because that one was casual, so you can quit anytime you want. So I gave my 2 weeks notice in my office cleaning job, and I started working in the restaurant while I was also doing housekeeping until the restaurant was giving me more hours. I was able to work more at the restaurant. So when I felt that they were giving me enough hours to pay, to have enough money, I was like, okay, this is the time to finally quit this shitty job and just do the restaurant. I quit the housekeeping job, and that was the happiest day in my life because I really hated it. And I just fully focused on the restaurant. Now, the restaurant job was in general really easy. Obviously, it was also really new to me, but at least I had the customer service, which not only helped me to like interact more with people, but also to improve my English even more. For this restaurant job, I think the most important thing you need to have is customer service, and like a good customer service, because here in Australia they really care about how you treat the customers, like in a really friendly and like active way where they probably will come back to the restaurant. And you have to be fast. If you don't learn to be fast in a hospitality job and to understand, that's why good English is also one of the you definitely need to have okay English to be able to work in a restaurant, just because if you don't understand the instructions they're giving you, or if you don't understand what the customer is telling you, you're not going to progress. And they're going to tell you like, I'm sorry, you are not working here, bye bye. Which it happened a lot. I was not the only one Colombian in that role at the beginning at the restaurant. There was a few Colombians as well, but their English were not good enough for the role, so they only stayed there for like a few weeks, and then, well, they never come back. And because this specific restaurant was serving alcohol, I also needed to get the RSA to be able to serve alcohol to the customers, which I did it. It was really annoying to do. It's a really annoying like certificate to do, but it's worth it because then you can work in a place like this. Now, after I changed the jobs, it was a big change for me. I was working a lot, but in a different like environment. All the people that it was working with me, they were all really nice, and it was really great to be working there. Unfortunately, that changed a little bit at the end of my journey with the restaurant. But in general, I'm really grateful just to have the experience and how well they were with me at the beginning or most of the time. I think that really changed me a lot and helped me a lot, and I learned a lot as well. I stayed in that restaurant for 2 years, and then I decided to quit. I decided to quit just because I felt that my journey in that restaurant was done. And I think I did everything I could to bring the best of me and the best of the restaurant. And I think I did a pretty good job. I started that as a waitress, and I ended up as a manager. So it was a pretty good journey. I also quit because I just thought that some of the things the restaurant was doing in terms of how they were treating staff or the way they do in general their management was not something that I felt comfortable with. So I just preferred to quit as well. And I just think that it was time for me to find something different and and just do something different. After I quit, I literally did not much. I really wanted to have some time off because, a lot of people, Colombian people or any people in general, they come to Australia and they work, but they also travel a lot, which means that they might be not saving a lot of money. I did save a lot of money. So I was really comfortable in not working at all because I had a lot of money in my bank account because I never had any holiday, never. Since the moment I arrived to Australia and to the moment I quit my job, I literally never traveled. I went to Sydney once for 4 days and that was it. My focus was always saving money. That made me not enjoy Australia as much as other people, but I think that I still have the time to do that. I just need to find that. I didn't work for around 3 months. And then I started looking for a new job, not in a restaurant, just because I wanted to relax a little bit of that crazy industry as well. Because, every job that has a customer service focus is hard sometimes because some customers are really mean and rude. Anyway, I found a job in a travel insurance company. I had high expectations for this company, which it was really bad because I didn't like it at the end. And also because they make it seem like it was a really nice job, but it wasn't, just because it was a call center. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I can still do it. It's travel insurance. It's something that I like because I like everything that is related to travel. But it was not. Customer service over the phone is even worse because sometimes they get mad at you for something that is not even your fault. And they can get really, really mean to you. So I stayed there for 2 months. The requirements, I would say that it was actually really easy. You just need customer service experience and that's it. The interview was just like any other interview, and that was everything. They didn't really even ask for any in specific, so it was really easy to get that job. But as I said before, it was call center. I never imagined myself working in a call center, and I tried for 2 months and I hated it, so I quit again. And now here I am. It's been 1 week since I quit the travel insurance job, and now I'm here just focusing on what I really want. I still have savings, which is really good. I'm definitely looking for a job, but for now, just because of my visa, obviously I have some limitations. I wish that I could work in anything I want, but unfortunately I can't just because of the visa restrictions I have. But for now, I'm just looking for something technically easy, something that I might enjoy for a little bit until I can finally do something I like. Right now, I'm not worried because I think my peace of mind is my savings. And even if I didn't travel, even if I haven't been in any country yet, well, right now I can be comfortable sitting here in this couch talking to the camera, thinking I don't need to worry for a job right now. So yeah. That's everything for my experience about working in Australia. It has been definitely not just butterflies and rainbows and unicorns. It's just like, I don't know what to expect next, but I'm ready for everything because if I already did all of that, I can definitely do whatever is coming from me. My recommendation in general, if you're looking for a job in Australia, is don't believe in all what other people said to you just because of their experience. You have to have your own experiences. If you think my English is good, I'm going to apply for a restaurant, go for it. If you think my English is good and I have studies in marketing and I want to apply for this company, go for it. You don't need to do cleaning. Why would you do cleaning if you already have good knowledge in English? There's no point of it. Just do whatever is best for you. Obviously, I know that every circumstances is different and sometimes you have to work in anything just because you need the money. I understand that, but always try to progress. Don't stay in the same job the whole time because then there's no progress, and don't stay in something that makes you miserable. Being in Australia is not easy. Being in Australia is working hard and like being really strong mentally, because if you're not, you might quit in the first few months. And unfortunately, I think one of the things that affect you, or what affect me the most, in my mental health was different, was definitely the jobs I had at the beginning. It was really hard for me to do those kind of jobs, and been thinking if I really made the right choice in coming here. But after 3 years so far, I think it was the right choice for me. So I'm really happy for that. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you want to know more about my history or any other specific thing about Australia or anything else, just leave a comment, let me know. Give me a like in this video and subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this. And I'll see you next time.